how to lower your property taxes, and the impact of the repeal of the Gallagher Amendment here in Colorado. That's today's episode. Let's jump right into it. If I told you there was an opportunity for you to potentially lower your property taxes, would you be interested? You see, when the county sends you notice around May 1st about the amount of property taxes that they anticipate you owing, this is not a hard and fast amount that you don't have any opportunity to argue.
Okay. Not in my house.
And in this video, I'm going to teach you how you can protest that amount and also give you a couple of tips on how to be successful. However, before we do that, it's important to understand the formula that the county uses to come up with the amount of property taxes you owe and some of the changes that could be coming due to the fact that the Gallagher Amendment was repealed. First of all, let's go over the formula that the county uses. Property taxes aren't assessed on the full value of your home, but on an assessed value, which is found by multiplying the appraised value by an assessment rate, which is set by the state, and then taking that assessed value and multiplying it by your local mill levy to determine the final tax amount. The appraised value is going to be the number that you have an opportunity to argue with the county assessor, which we're going to teach you how to do in this video. The assessment rate is the percentage of a property's value that is subject to taxation. It's also the number that was most directly affected by the repeal of the Gallagher Amendment. You see, under the Gallagher Amendment, the amount of property taxes on homes statewide had to make up approximately 45% of the tax base, while the amount that would be collected on non-residential property would make up the remaining 55%. To manage this balancing act, the non-residential assessment rate would be fixed at 29%, while the residential assessment rate would adjust to make sure that that 55-45 split was maintained. With that amendment in place and the residential boom in Colorado, the residential assessment rate dropped from 21% in 1982 all the way down to 7.15% in 2019, and it was actually due to decrease to 5.88% in 2021. However, with the repeal of the Gallagher Amendment, it is now frozen at 7.15%. So what it means for the immediate future is that your assessment rate will stay frozen at 7.15%. However, it does mean that it will be easier to change that rate in the future. You see, since it is no longer part of the state constitution and is just written in state statute, it'll only require a simple majority in the House and the Senate along with the governor's signature rather than a constitutional amendment. So that's the formula that the county's using and the impact that the repeal of the Gallagher Amendment could have. But now we get into the actionable stuff, the things that you can actually do to try to reduce your property taxes. If you own property, then you should get a notice in the mail from the county assessor around May 1st saying, we intend to tax you at this appraised value. And based on that value and the assessment rate and the local mill levy, we estimate that your taxes will be this amount. This functions as the notice from the county saying, hey, do you agree with this appraised value? Because the bill's coming after this. And if you don't agree with it, then this is the point in time that you need to take action and go ahead and get your ducks in a row to file a protest. Very often people will see that notice and they will take it as a foregone conclusion that that's the amount of property taxes they're gonna owe and there really isn't anything they can do about it. But you have the right to protest this appraised value. In fact, that's what the notice is telling you. And you should, at the very least, explore if it's worth presenting objections to the assessor. If you decide to do so, you can do it one of three ways: in person, in writing, or online. And one of the first tips is to make sure you know the dates. The appeal period is from May 1st through June 1st. So your appeal has to be either postmarked, faxed, or entered online no later than June 1st. By state law, residential property in Colorado is valued with the market approach to value. In this approach, the value of the subject property is based on the analysis of comparable sales. So another important tip is to understand the time period from which you can pull comparable sales. For Jefferson County in the tax years 2021 and 2022, comparable sales must be pulled from between January 1st, 2019 and June 30th, 2020. Now understand, when the county is assigning your home a value, they're usually doing it through a mass appraisal approach and implementing a technique called multiple regression analysis. So what all that means really is they're using a model. They don't have an individual appraiser that goes to every single house. In fact, it even says on their website, using the methodology of a fee appraiser for every parcel is a daunting task and isn't possible, which is completely understandable. However, it does leave some room for valuations of certain properties to maybe not be as drilled down or as precise as they could be. And putting in the legwork to verify that they have valued your home fairly could lead to you discovering that they've actually overvalued your home and therefore are overcharging you on property taxes. Now again, the county is very transparent about this and gives you every opportunity to appeal. In fact, they outline how you can do it on their website. If you're in a different county, just go ahead and Google your county plus tax assessor and you can usually find a really good amount of information on their website. For Jefferson County specifically, they walk you through exactly how to appeal an assessment. It says on their website, to appeal an assessment, you should explain why you believe the assessor's value is incorrect. This is where it becomes important that you provide pertinent information supporting your estimate of value. The sales used to develop the current year actual value are listed on the assessor's website. By comparing your property to other similar properties that sold, you can determine whether your property has been fairly valued. So it's telling you right there that the comparables they're using is listed on the website. And one of the first things you're going to want to do is try to look at those comparables and see if they're a fair comparison for your home. But even before doing that, one of the other tips that I want to give you is that you should check for the low-hanging fruit first and foremost. So on the initial assessment that they do for you, make sure that they got all the big facts correct, the amount of bedrooms, the amount of baths, the square footage, things of that nature. If they got one of those wrong, you could be looking at a very quick fix and a quick reduction in your property taxes right off the bat. Now, as you get into the comparable piece of it, you can absolutely do the legwork yourself. And they're gonna give you the opportunity to look at sold properties on the county website. You can find all that stuff on your county's website. And if you do decide to do it yourself, make sure that you're using those sold properties off of the county website, not information off of Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com, something like that. Very often they can have some statistics that are incorrect on there, and those don't serve to be great comparables. But this is really where I can be of value and of service to you as your realtor. You see, we can help evaluate the properties that were used in the assessment to make sure that they're a fair and accurate representation of your home's value. And if they're not, we can help you find comparable properties that are a better representation of your home's value and thus support your appeal. If you have any other questions, would like a complimentary assessment of your home's actual value to help support your protest, or if you're just curious about what your home is worth, don't hesitate to give me a call or shoot me an email. I'll do all I can to help you out. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you got something out of the video. I'm your realtor, JT Putt, and remember, here at Windermere Evergreen, we're all in for you.